Hey, how's it going? This is my attempt to remove the paint and polish LS valve springs. Now, I made two videos and this is the short version. Okay, let's get started. What I got here is a Harbor Freight Vibratory tumbler and some walnut shell fine media. What I'm going to use it on is these LS blue beehive valve springs. I got some dark blue and some light blue. Why different colors? I don't know. That's how I got them. And according to online resources, the biggest problem with this tumbler is this wing nut. Comes loose, makes a big old mess, or just ruins the lid or whatever. So, online solutions are add more rubber washers and use a nylock nut. So we will give that a try. Because last thing I want is a big mess. So, I'll get here situated and give you a shot here in a second. Okay, I got her all filled up with the walnut shell. Threw 8 springs in there, though 7 probably fit better than 8. And we'll give this a shot. Okay, flip around. Yep, she's loud. Well, I knew that going in. So, we'll see how that turns out here in a couple of hours. It's been about 3 hours. I gave it 2 hours of tumble, and as per the directions, I gave about an hour to let the dust calm down. So we'll see what we got. Oh, one more quick note. This is obviously not the full polishing. This is just me doing some preliminary research as to how to remove the paint. Not all springs have paint on them, just these LS ones, and I'd like to remove it without wasting the more expensive component like compound. So let's see what we got. Okay, let's open her up. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, it looks like she's that paint's coming off pretty good. Not so much on the inside. That kind of sucks. Get a little better lighting. Okay, I dug out all 8 of the springs, and here's an interesting side note. The dark blue springs, actually the paint came off much better. The light blue, they're kind of like half and half. I mean, one side's good. Well, this one's actually one of the better ones. This one here, you can see quite a bit of blue paint. Turn it around, and it's starting to come off pretty good. So, I wonder if I overloaded it or I didn't use enough media. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw 6 back in there this time and give it another 2 hours and see where we end up. Like I said earlier, I made 2 versions, and this is the short one. For the clips I used for this video, I edited them down some and I left a lot of stuff out. But otherwise, I still wanted to give a basic idea of what I was trying to do. So if you want to see the full version, I'll have the link below. Or if you want to see the review I made of the tumbler, that'll also be below. Otherwise, my results are next. Oh, I almost forgot. Before I get into the LS painted spring wrap-up, I did tumble some unpainted springs, aftermarket springs, and here's that clip. This is the last valve spring tumbler clip, I promise. I wanted to try one more thing, and I wanted to use some plain unpainted valve springs. I just used some comp cam beehive valve springs that were old and used that I had laying around, and I ran them for about 5 hours, and these are my results. These 5 were used in the tumbler, and this one was not. Still a little oily. Looked the same to me, so I used the same mixed tumbled media. No compound, so I don't know if they need a longer duration or compound added, but at this point I am done with the experiment. I'm happy with the results on my painted springs, and maybe I'll try and polish these up in a later video, but for now I'm done. Finally got all the things I wanted to try done, so here's a quick wrap up. I started off with the dry fine media for a total of 10 hours. Then I added some chrome polish to the fine media for 5 hours, and we ended up with what looked like rust. So I reset to a fresh batch of used springs with coarse media and compound for a total of 4 hours. Then I reset again with fresh coarse media only for 2 hours. And then last I tried a mix of coarse and fine media only for a total of 14 hours. Total time on the second set of springs was 20 hours. The first set of springs was 15 hours. And there's still paint on the inside of the springs. I wouldn't call this experiment a total failure, nor a complete success. I removed some paint, and I'm sure many of you are wondering why I even want to remove the paint. So I'll go into that next. Why don't I want paint on my valve springs? To help explain, I drew this chart behind me. Heat, strength. As temperatures rise, strength will decline in metals, some more than others. Basically, think of the paint as a thermal barrier that doesn't allow the oil to do its job and dissipate the heat of the springs. All I'm trying to do is help the oil cool the springs more efficiently. Now, some uses this may apply to, others it may not. I'm not going to go into that. There's also other methods of removing the heat, like dedicated spring oilers, and I'm not going to go into that either. This is something I wanted to try that was cheap and easy that I could do myself at home. Overall, I think the tumbler worked good. I think the media worked good. The coarse media was faster at removing the paint, and the fine media left the springs looking shinier. Of course, the springs will still need to be cleaned up if I were to use them. Well, when I use springs in the future, I'll definitely clean those ones up. I'll have to pick out the embedded walnut from some of the coils and wash them and re-oil them. But for now, I'm calling it. I'm done with this experiment. I've learned what I can learn, and maybe next year I'll revisit it. Next winter, I don't know. At this point, I'm done. So, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Peace out. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your grinder stand as a podium.